Did you get that? 404-218-1234. Lawrence Prescott Photography. Yo, my brethren, big up. It's all about Caribbean International Shipping. That's right. Do you need more information on shipping your items to the U.S., Southeast region, or to the Caribbean? Have you ever heard of Caribbean International Shipping? You shop, they pack, and ship. They also offer residential pickup services. Support our business, like, share, and call. For your barrel shippings, let us know. The number to call is 470-718-9675 on WhatsApp or 770-323-1111. Caribbean International Shipping, the only way to send your stuff to the islands.
Give it to me, do it to me, give it to me. Don't stop, don't stop, don't stop, don't stop. The way you make me feel.
Do you like music like this? That's right, I'm asking you. Do you like music like this? Then why have you not been to Sophisticated Saturday as yet? That's right, each and every third Saturday of the month, we call it Sophisticated Saturdays. Where we keep it at? Caribbeanlifetv Studios. 6254 Memorial Drive is the only place to be each and every third Saturday of the month. So if you want to celebrate your birthday, if you just want to come hang out and have some fun with grown people having big fun, Sophisticated Saturdays is the only place to be. It's brought to you by yours truly, DJ Reds, and my boy, Mr. B. Sophisticated Saturdays, every third Saturday of the month, 6254 Memorial Drive is where the grown people go and have good, clean fun. Every third Saturday of the month, man. The way you make me feel, I'm just going to have fun. I'll see you there. Sophisticated Saturdays. I got you.
That's just how we roll.
Let me tell you who I'm rolling with. I am rolling with the Dot Experiment. I don't know if you ever heard of them before, but the Dot Experiment is here to help you with all your cell phone and computer needs. The Dot Experiment is here for all your tech, all your software problems, whether it's the storage full, your laptop won't boot, or you're just tired of your current setup, or you're just looking for tech support. The Dot Experiment is the only way to go. Call them today, 404-259-1343, or you can email them at support@thedotexperiment.com for a free consultation. Don't waste your money buying tech stuff and tech software that you don't understand and don't know how to use. Contact the Dot Experiment, the professionals in fixing all your stuff, man. So before you buy that cell phone, before you get that computer, contact the Dot Experiment. It's the only way to go. I'm telling you, that's how we roll it over here.
You're looking for a home? You're looking for land? Look no further. Elite Realty Dominica got you covered. Whether it's to buy a home or build a home or just an investment property, contact Nicole London at 888-860-2366. That's 888-860-2366. Or you can log on to DominicaEliteRealty.com for all your inquiries and questions. Elite Realty Dominica, where exquisite living is defined by nature.
Trinity Joe presents Island Vibe Orlando, the ultimate all-inclusive weekend extravaganza, June 28th to July 1st. 2 days, 2 events. On June 29th, the party starts with a bus ride from Holiday Inn and Suites Orlando. Bus leaves 11 a.m. sharp to Cocoa Beach for the all-inclusive brunch and beach. Party to music by Atlanta and Orlando's hottest DJs. Enjoy delectable food and mixed drinks. June 30th, event number 2, Island Vibe Sundays presents Seductive, the all-inclusive day party. Come celebrate Trinity Joe's birthday with an evening of elegance with top shelf drinks and delicious food at the Holiday Inn and Suites Orlando. Head on over to islandvibesundays.com for detailed info and to purchase your tickets. Island Vibe Orlando, all-inclusive weekend extravaganza, brought to you by Trinity Joe. See you there.
Hey, what's up? It's your boy DJ Reds. I'm here to tell you about My Green Card Express. That's right, My Green Card Express. Global immigration consultant Jackie Brown will be speaking on ways to help foreign students, asylum seekers, and others to adjust their immigration status. My Green Card Express. It all takes place June the 22nd, right here inside Caribbeanlifetv Studios. The time is from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. 6254 Memorial Drive is the place to be on the 22nd if you have any type of immigration issues. The global immigration consultant Jackie Brown will be here for My Green Card Express. Make sure you look for the link, or you can call 678-933-2499, or go online, look up My Green Card Express and register. My Green Card Express. Make sure you're there, and I'll see you there.
This is Pastor Carlene Hepburn. Please tune in to Recharge Nation every Saturday from 9:30 to 11 a.m. on Caribbean Life TV and radio.
Hey, this is Jeffrey Speaks with Just a Thought. Be sure to tune into my show every Saturday from 12 to 1 on Caribbean Life TV and radio.
Check, it's Rebel Mass, and be sure to tune into Unplugged with Rebel Mass and DJ Mecca Rose every Saturday, 2:15 to 3:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and be sure to lock in with Caribbean Life Radio and Caribbean Life TV.
Hi, this is Prima with Candid Co-Ed Conversations with me, just Prima. Tune in every Thursday night from 8:30-ish to 10-ish to see what we have going on. We talk about everything under the sun. Nothing is off limits. And call in 678-661-1819 with questions, comments, and feedback. Looking forward to it. Thanks.
Weekend is coming up. Let's open up the windows and let me lend you this melody to ride. I know you were stuck inside, but now it's party time. Yeah, it's party time. Yeah, sunlight is creeping in. We starting up so early, and we so Jersey. Cars parked out on the lawn. We may not be here for long. Cops come, we say so long. Yeah, yeah. So high, it's summertime. It feels like it's the day to go down. The sun is out, let's find a good place to cool down. It's just me and you now. Are you the one in line for me to spend the summertime? My car is looking clean, I washed it up this morning. Our heads are turning as I am rolling by. The baddest girl on my side, we'll have some fun tonight. Yeah, tonight, yeah. Just heard a barbecue is being thrown this evening. Don't worry, I'm leaving this barbershop right now. Ain't no way, no how. I'm missing out, I'm down. Yeah, I'm down. Yeah, I'm down. Yeah, I'm down. Yeah, come on. So high, it's summertime. It feels like it's the day to go down. The sun is out, let's find a good place to cool down. You and me, girl. It's just me and you now. Are you the one in line for me to spend the summertime? So high, baby.
That boy Eric Rowe.
Feels like it's the day to go down.
We control this lane, man.
Let's find a good place to cool down. It's just me and you now. Are you the one in line for me to spend the summertime?
7-day forecast, hot. Spike Lee, do the right thing plot. I play Mookie, delivering pizzas to that sexy Spanish thing, looking juicy, big dookie. We get silly, heat waves get dizzy. That soul movement, Brooklyn to Philly. Broad Street, Flatbush, get busy. New summer anthem, Eric and Richie. I see beads of sweat dripping down tummies. Rectums and Daisy Dukes look yummy. I'm in that drop top with sweet cakes pumping in. Old school Buick sitting on Kiefer Sutherland's before the 16. Figure out the riddle. My treat, meet me at Ishka Bibbles. You know the real Ish with Will Smith, he did it the first time. Chubb Rockster, new summer rhyme. Come!
So high, yeah. Summertime, it feels like it's the day to go down. The sun is out, let's find a good place to cool down. Me and you, it's just me and you now. Come on, are you the one in line for me to spend the summertime?
All right. Hey now, hey. Welcome to Reading to Feed the Mind. I'm Stacy Woods, your host, and we are here with another episode. An exciting episode because I have my first guest. Yay! Woo! So I'll tell you about her in a little bit. But I just want to say welcome to everybody. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend, although I know we're in the middle of the week. We humping on into the next weekend. And but I hope you've had a good week thus far in your life, at work, in your families, Anyway, so we have a guest today, so I'm going to go ahead and jump in. But before I jump in, I'm going to start trying to share different literacy events that's going on in our various communities. So on the 29th of June, from 11:30 to 2:30, the Snellville Community Meat Organization, which I am a member of, we are putting on a literacy event, June 2024. And again, it's going to be June 29th. And it will be at the Zor United Methodist Church Gymnasium. And what we're doing is we're going to have children's book authors. One of them is my guest today. And we're going to have performers. So some of the children's book authors that we're having is Susan Hines, Sadie Evans, Valencia Weaver, Patrice McLaurin, Valina Jules, and Bailey Dreamreacher. Those are going to be all of our authors who's going to be there. We're going to have some performers, Snellville Performing Arts and Main Street Theater. They're going to do a short play or a dance event. And then Sharon Riggs, Stories and Songs. And then we are going to have some professional storytellers too. So that one we're confirming, and I'll make that announcement next week. So we're going to have free refreshments, free books while supplies last. And the whole mission is, again, around literacy and children's literacy, getting our kids to read and getting parents involved in the reading. So again, and you can go to my website, rtfmind.com, not tonight, but tomorrow, because I got to put it out there. But it'll be there tonight. But anyway, so you can go to my website. It'll be there too. And I am going to be announcing it every week, and I'll have a flyer that we can kind of put up as well. So that's all I know right now with literacy events. But you all can DM me if you know of some and you want me to announce it. You know, again, go to my website, rtfmind.com. Go to contact us. Fill out that form. Give me some information, and I'll be more than happy to contact you first, clarify some things, and then share it on my show. Okay? All right. Well, like I said, I'm not in here by myself today. I know y'all saw me in the beginning when Reds, my producer, was playing one of my favorite songs by Eric Roberson. It's called Summertime Anthem, and I'm sure you all could tell Chubb Rock was in there. But that song was on his Mr. Nice Guy album, which was one of the first ones that I got of his. And so, and it's been my favorite. I had it as my alarm. I would wake up to it pretty much in the summer just because it just really kind of lifts my spirit. So that's why we play that one. But anyway, so as I was saying, while that was playing, I was talking, and y'all were probably like, well, who's she talking to? I am talking to, as I just said, one of the authors that's going to be at our literacy event, Miss Susan Hines. Yay, Susan! So on my first show, I think it was my first show, I talked about my book. Second show was children's literacy and just literacy in general. And I shared some statistics about the numbers and, you know, how important it is for our children to be able to read in that third grade level. You all, it is a serious, serious thing. And I've said it before, but we have to start with our children because there's so many adults that I'm finding out can't read. And I talked about that on my second show. And I have two students. For those of you who know me, know I do this, but I also focus on adult literacy. And I have, since 2012, assisted people with studying to pass the GED test. Well, in the last year or so, I have been getting more calls from adults who can't read. And I'm like, I don't do reading. I don't do reading. And finally, I was like, okay, God, obviously you want me to do reading. So I have two students now, grown men who don't know how to read, who can't read. And that's just amazing to me. And one has his high school diploma, but he's older, and he was in that era when our black boys that could play good were good athletes and do everything. They were just pushing them all along because they were winning the football games, basketball games, track, and all of that. And he got caught up in that. So he has his high school diploma, but he doesn't read well. Very nice man. and I'm not, of course I'm not talking about them. I'm just sharing
Right.
that it's a real thing. And so, like I shared in that last episode, with our parents, well, with my parents, I'll speak for my mom and my aunts and uncles, they didn't really have an education.
Right.
Some of them didn't even have high school degrees, but they knew how important it was for us to have it.
Exactly.
And that's what's missing from our parents now. Some, not all, but for those parents that's not sticking with their kids and grandparents, is they can't do it. So they don't feel like they can tell their child anything, but you can.
Right.
My mama did it. She could read and all of that, but still she did it. But anyway, so I'm happy to have you here to continue with options. Where do I get my books? And I shared this as well, Dollar General, not yours, but I mean, there's too many places.
Yeah.
Goodwill for people to pick up
Yeah,
books for kids.
I definitely agree with you on that. Reading is essential, and it's one of the things that I have noticed within my small community and starting at home with my grandson. When we entered into COVID, and we had to do a lot of at-home learning, that's where things became very prevalent, that there was a need for reading, and not just reading to pass through, but reading with a level of comprehension.
Yes.
So my grandson, for example, at the time was about 6 years old and didn't have the passion for reading. So one of the things that I sought after was to take interest that he may have, because what I've learned with children is if you present them with something that they're passionate about, or they see as fun or enjoyment, or it doesn't feel quite like learning, they're all in. We happened to get a COVID puppy that same year, and he took to the puppy as a new family member. So my instant thought was, let me write a book about this dog and the dog's interactions day to day and how they're moving about. Well, in doing so, of course, I had to list my grandson's name in the book and more, and the last name and so forth. And by him knowing that this book is not only about the dog, but it's about me, it gave him some level of bragging rights, maybe. And this is about me and my yaya. Yeah, my yaya wrote this for me.
Yeah.
So that was pretty exciting for him. So he took interest in it, and the book itself is for early readers. It's a very easy going book. It's fun. A lot of rhyming text and sight words. And we shared that, and he has read this book over and over and over again, and even taken the book to school and shared it with his classmates. So in doing that, it's just expanding my small vision, because, again, this was a passion project just for my grandson. It wasn't meant to go out into the world as it has done now. But now that I have shared it with the world, and it's on Amazon, and it's on all Barnes and Nobles and these different sites, I've shared it with the world, and I've noticed that there are so many children that are needing the attention of reading. They want a fun book. They want to get involved and learn. So it's been really fun and exciting adventure for me. And then getting out and meeting teachers and parents and librarians, and they're all saying the same things. We are so glad that you've contributed to the community by writing this book, and let's take it to another level and talk about series books and talk about chapter books, because the older children need it as well.
Yeah.
So there's a need to just not pass the kids through, as you're saying. There's a need to spend time and build community, and I hope that's what I'm doing for everyone with this book journey.
And you are, and because it takes the village, the village. I always do my little triangle. It's three: the child up top, parent, and teacher.
Yes.
And everybody has to connect and come together in order for them to be a success.
Yes.
And it doesn't have to be drilled all the time.
Right.
My mother raised me as a nerd, because she would. In the summertime, she would buy me activity books.
Yep.
And they were fun, but I would go through those activity books not really understanding that I'm learning. And then when she would come home, I'd show her my little...
Right.
Yeah, I've been a nerd all my life. But it's okay. It's okay.
No, nerds are good.
Yeah,
Nerds run the world sometimes.
So now, let me ask you, were you read to as a child?
As a child, I was read to. I remember I started school early. I started the way my birthday falls. It's like you're a year ahead, but you're really not. But I started school early, and I remember my mother going to the elementary school and saying she's ready to come to kindergarten. And they were reluctant. They were saying, "Oh no, well, you have to prove to us that she mentally be okay in this classroom because I was only 4, and you had to be 5, and can she read or spell something?" The 2 first words that I learned to read was happy and banana. Oh. And I remember the Sunday night before school spelling banana, banana. It was just constant, like over and over. My mom was like, "Okay, that's enough. You spelt it." But I was so excited about going, and so from that, my mother would always read to me. Maybe not sit down and read a full book, but like throughout life, just showing me different words and so forth. And then back in the day, I'm going to tell my age, but back in the day, there was the S&H stamps that Publix used to have. And you can buy, you could collect these stamps every time you make a purchase. And you can buy books with it. And I
think that was before my time. My mama told me about that.
Your mama told you about. She says I'm old, y'all. But anyway, but I bought some books, and the books came with a record, a 45-inch record that sat on. I'm really old. Is that what you're saying?
I do remember that when you said the record.
Yes.
It was almost like you pushed it out of a book.
You push it out of the book, you put the record on, you have your book, and you read along with it. So that was my read along. That's who I read with. And I developed a passion for it, and I would bug my mom to just keep buying me those books. So between the Disney books and the S&H Green Stamp books that I would get, that's how I learned to read.
Yeah, I forgot about. I can see that little album. I don't know if it was the book or one time they might have had one on the back of a cereal box.
It's a book, and then it had a sleeve. I wish I could find it now. It's probably worth a lot of money.
Could be.
But yeah.
No, but seriously, all the stuff that we used to have back then. I forgot about that.
Yeah, it was good. It was good stuff, but it was nice, nice fun, and it's something that as a child I just. Youngest of 8 kids. I was always by myself. So I'm reading, and it helped to develop my creativity and my imaginary friends that I would, have. Penelope was one of my friends, right? So I would just make up people and hang out.
I didn't have imaginary. I really didn't. I didn't really have imaginary friends. Again, I've been this corporate Barbie my whole life. That's what my daughter calls me. And I remember I would have a desk because my mom always we always had a typewriter.
Okay.
So it was always a typewriter, and eventually as we got older, somewhere she got a 10-key calculator because she was determined that we were supposed to work at a level higher than what, have the skills that we needed. So I had a staple. I would be at the desk, and, I would be imitating the people from the welfare office. Oh my God, I can't believe I forgot we on the podcast. I would. So I had make-believe people that I was having to process. And please do this right here and bring that back. And what can I help you with?
Oh, wow.
That was my make-believe. That and singing.
Okay.
I would sing and suck my finger and hold my pillow. Okay, TMI. Okay. All right. So...
Getting to know you better.
Hey, Jackie, I see. Yeah. She know. She probably laughing because she know.
Oh my goodness.
But anyway, so all right. So as a child, who was your favorite author?
As a child, wow.
Or what books? You might not remember the exact author.
Right. There's a book that I've been looking high and low for, and I don't know the actual name of it, but it had something to do with Fargo, North Dakota. And it was one of those books that also had the record with it, and I would just read that book to nauseam. Okay. I wish I could tell you who wrote that, but I don't know. But outside of that particular book, always loving the Dr. Seuss types of books because it does have that rhyming cadence, and I think I may have mimicked that in my own books because I remember as a child, if you learned one word, you learned many words. If you so I really enjoyed those types of books. And then as I got older, reading other books, Toni Morrison, love her stuff. Alice Walker. Also enjoy Stephen King. I remember reading Christine in one setting.
I was too
Yes.
scared to read.
Yeah, I weird kid. I might have been about
I was too afraid.
preteen or something, but I read that in one setting.
That was
I couldn't
really
put it down. I'm hiding under the comforters with my flashlight trying to finish it up. It was very odd. But yeah.
Oh, that's not odd.
Yeah.
That's what we did back then. We didn't have a cell phone with a flashlight.
True.
We had to go get the flashlight.
Right.
What this flashlight doing?
Well, it was one of those "don't run my battery down"
Down.
type of
Yes.
conversations
Oh my
we would
God.
have.
So you
'cause,
got me going them
yeah,
D batteries.
growing up in South Florida, you gotta have.
And I was in
flashlights,
Georgia.
yeah.
I was in Atlanta. Not too far. Not too much of a difference.
True.
But I was going to ask you. So okay, my authors. Yeah, it was Judy Blume.
Judy Blume.
And then
yes.
I got to do the whole V.C. Andrews in high school, but we talking children's books. I can't remember the author, but I still have a lot of mine. And it was the McBrooms.
Oh, yes.
McBroom's Ghost was one of them.
Right.
And it would just be different stories about the McBrooms. And I think I had 3 or 4 of those
Okay.
books. Something, it was McBroom's Ghost, and then it was something about the winter, and he was free. Anyway, so.
Were you like a preteen when you were reading those?
No, I think McBroom's. Yeah, probably 11, 12.
11, 12,
Yes,
okay,
yes,
because
yes,
it seems like around that age frame, you want those chapter books. You want to keep
Yeah.
going and what
But that
happens
was
next
actually-
type of thing.
It wasn't quite a chapter book.
Right.
It was it was a children's book, but it wasn't the rhyme. It was probably 3rd, 4th, 5th grade
Right,
children
right,
level book. So not
yes.
quite. Judy Blume was my first chapter book. I love that movie. I went to see that movie by myself. 'Cause
Yeah.
It just brought back all the memories.
Yeah, I watched it
Yeah.
as well. No one would go with me, just FYI.
You should have gone. I'm sorry. Well, I didn't ask.
Well, true enough.
Because
I didn't
know-
ask. I
look,
didn't ask.
And because I know in my circle, I'm like,
Yeah.
no, I'm not going to even go
Yeah,
through.
you're right. I didn't ask. I
needed
think
to
I
have
just
that moment.
selfishly wanted to see that one by myself.
Yeah, I just had that moment by myself just to go in the memories. And it was a lot of women, older women in there by themselves.
Yeah.
So we were all doing the same thing.
Definitely.
All right. So you really mentioned like Toni Morrison as you progressed on. And you mentioned that Dr. Seuss was probably really influential for you
Yeah.
when you were patterning your book.
Yeah, definitely. From a writing perspective, one interesting book thing that I've learned about Dr. Seuss, and I don't know, it's one of those facts, is in his book Green Eggs and Ham, which most people have read. There's only 50 words.
Really?
He repeats and mixes those words up to make this long book, and I found that to be fascinating. That you can do so much wordplay with just 50 words, and that was a personal challenge that someone had given him, and he took it on. And I just, when I learned that about it, I'm like, this kind of just ties into everything that I'm trying to do. Is that you don't have to say a lot or do a lot to say a lot, or vice versa, but how impactful it could still be.
Mm-hmm.
And when I wrote this first book, Buckley is a Busy Boy, I'll share. When I wrote this first book, it's a very short book, short tale, but it has an impactful story.
Yes, it does.
When I wrote it, I didn't realize that. It was just something like, oh, this rhymes and let me write it. And as I read it over and over, and I talk to kids when I go out to their schools and daycares and so forth, and we do a Q&A after each session. What did you like? What didn't you like? What did you learn? And the kids are like, oh, I see sight words. I see rhyming words. I liked when he was chasing the squirrels or whatever it was. But they're not just reading with just hearing you read. They're reading with comprehension, and they're able to retain the information and give it back to you. So it was an encouragement to say, okay, they're connecting to this material. Let's keep building on this and see how far they can go. So in one of my recent visits to Pleasantdale Elementary, right here in Pleasantdale, Georgia, one of the kids that I read to last year came up to me and he said, I remember this book. You were here last year, and I remember, and will you be following me throughout my educational career? So that to me was like, I've just been challenged by a first grader to up my material and keep going with them because it is impacting them. And now I'm hearing that children there are not only listening to me read, but they're writing about this Buckley character as well. They're writing about this little dog and they're coming up with their own story. So as I close out my sessions with them, I'll say, well, what should he do next? And they give me ideas, and I promise them that when I come back, some of their ideas may make it into the next book.
Oh, that's nice. And then they're going to ask for credit.
And then they're going to want credit and
I'm a
so
co-author.
forth. Yeah, I'm a co-author, right. So.
Well, I mean, it is impactful. And I see that you have several books here. So you want to talk about which each one of those are?
Sure. So we have Buckley is a Busy Boy, which is the first edition within the Buckley series. This one talks about Buckley's daily routines and his love for family. And then beyond that, we developed Buckley's family fishing trip, which talks about just what it says, his first fishing trip. So he learns how to overcome some challenges. One of the challenges that he has is as his grandpa and his big brother Raphael, which is my grandson, as they are moving and packing the car, they forget to get the bait. And Buckley's like, you forgot the bait. So he goes on an adventure to help them find the bait so that they can have a successful journey and catch some real fish. So that's a pretty fun book.
I gotta get that one.
You gotta get, yeah.
So what
it's
I'm
really
doing,
cute.
I'm sneaking and
You're
creating
sneaking.
a wish list. A wish. What was it when we were getting married? We would do the when we start by or moving out on your own.
Yeah, you get a.
It'll come to us.
There you
Anyway, so I'm doing that for the grandchild that I pray to have
yes,
one day.
yes.
So I'll have books.
So you'll have your books collected.
I have my old books, but then I'll have
You'll
these.
add to it, and that's
then Ontario's book.
That's going to be a perfect gift to
Yeah.
build their home library and to
yes.
get them start reading soon.
Yes,
Yeah, and
yeah.
developing a love for reading. as well.
I would be remiss to have a grandchild that could not read after all of this. I really would be. It would just be an embarrassment. But we pray. We'll see. We'll see. What's
No,
good.
you definitely
Or
pour,
just-
pour in early. That's
or
what you
just
do.
people that's around me because if I have little kids around me and they're at the house, then I can always read them, or give them the book to read, or I get on their nerves, but it's okay.
If you know what I've noticed, if children see parents, especially mothers, if they see mothers enjoying certain things, they tend to attach to that because they think it's cool. Because I want to believe that my grandson thinks I'm cool, and because I
right
read
now until we get a little older.
Yeah, I got at least 3 more years. But but when he sees that I'm excited about something, it piques his interest. Like, well, why are you so excited about that? Let me check that out. So yeah, he loves these books and he shares it now with his little brother. He has a new little brother as well. So yeah.
Well, I think in the end, it's spending time with kids because they need love. They need to know that you love them, and just the time. That's the thing that I think I discovered when I had my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
All the children want, especially up to at least the age of 5, 6 years old.
Oh, sure.
All they want is your time and your attention, and that. You might be tired and really don't have anything to talk to that little one about. I had those days. You've been at work all day. You sat through traffic, and you just like, child, okay, I don't need to hear about what was on TV or whatever. You can just pull out a book, and just read the story. Mm-hmm. And that's a bonding moment for you and the child, and it hasn't taken a lot. You haven't had to do a lot. You didn't have to buy a lot. It's you. That children they need the parents, they need that time and they need that attention. They need that love to know that you love them.
Yes, that is true.
They really do.
Yeah, I remember I have a nephew that's 7 years younger than me, and I remember as a child I would pick up books and read bedtime stories to him, and he really enjoyed it. And I'm like, you know what, I enjoy it, reading to him, seeing him go off and just go to bed peacefully with a good story, happy story on your mind. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
it's a lot of fun.
All right. So we got some people asking about the radio. Somebody will contact you all later about that. We're talking about books. Hope Chest, yes. Thank you,
Hope
Jackie.
Chest.
Because actually, so I've been blessed. My village has. I'm the baby of my family.
Yes.
I'm in the baby group of my family. So my cousins are like my brothers, and that's how
Right.
we kind of like, which is most people.
Right.
We grew up with our cousins. That's like brothers and sisters.
Those are your first friends.
Those are your really.
first friends,
So
yeah.
I'm in the baby group of the first cousins. So it's like 4 or 5 of us that's there.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm always the one that was trying to see and be there or whatever. So that's why Jackie, that Hope Chest. And I think I actually got the idea from her as I got older.
Okay.
You do a Hope Chest for if you get married or move out on your
Right,
own.
yes.
And so that's what I've started.
Your Hope Chest.
Her
Yes.
Hope Chest with the.
Yes.
And
Carry
I
that
just-
tradition
look,
along.
I see my daughter now like, whatever. Read, better go read to them babies in the hospital. That's what she probably sitting somewhere if she watching or listening. That's what she was like, you better take that book down there to that hospital.
Oh, that's a good idea, though, now that
It
you
really
say.
is.
It's a
It
good
really
idea.
is. Just take it and read to the babies in the hospital. So I see 3 more. I see 3 more
Yeah,
books.
3 more books. So of this first edition, which was Buckley is a Busy Boy, we also have Buckley is El Niño Ocupado for our Spanish community. So funny story about this, when I took both books out to Honey Creek Elementary out in Conyers, Georgia, and met a young girl who had just been transferred in from Honduras. And her teacher shared this particular book with her, and her face lit up. Her smile was so bright. She was able to see something that reminded her of her home. She had just come from Honduras, so didn't speak any English yet. So I was happy to be able to share this with her and say, yes, this Buckley Children's Series is inclusive, and we are doing what we can. And I say we because I consider Buckley part of my team. Buckley is I don't know if I mentioned.
He's the star.
Buckley is the star. Buckley is a real dog. Buckley is a standard schnauzer that weighs 50 pounds. But he acts like a child, and I just absolutely adore him, and the children like him as well. So he's pretty famous in my neighborhood. They know him.
Buckley the star.
Buckley's barking. Buckley's doing this or that. So,
Oh, Lord.
yeah. But we do have the Buckley Spanish book, and then we have a couple ancillary books, like our activity book for the older ages. And some adults have bought this one for themselves just to kind of do some word searches and the things that get your brains going, especially as you get older, you want to keep your brains active. So we got a couple things like that. And then, of course, who doesn't love to color? We do coloring as well. And you get a nice free sample of crayons if you buy a coloring book from the website. So in total, there's 5 books for the Buckley series, and the children have requested that we continue to write more challenging books. So they're challenging me to grow with them. So I'm taking the challenge. I'm like, okay, another book will be out later this year, and we're gonna make it the vocabulary a little bit more, challenging.
Just a little bit more advanced.
Yeah.
So you should do. So Buckley is he's a what type of dog?
He's a standard schnauzer. So there are 3 types of schnauzers. There's the mini, which is the smaller one that has a personality where they yap a little bit more. And then there's the standard schnauzer, which is a mid-sized dog, 43 to 50 pounds. He's right at the top of 50 because he's a foodie. But the mid-sized dogs don't bark as much. They're more guard dogs, watch dogs. They're only going to bark if there's an alert. And then you have the giant schnauzer, which is almost the size of me. I mean, they're huge.
Really?
They stand tall.
Okay. No, because I was thinking you should have a little, as you're getting up and the older, size doesn't matter. Have the little dog, the big dog, and, the difference.
That's cute.
That would be cute.
Yeah.
And just how you love everybody and your size doesn't matter. We can all still play and be friends.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
That would be a good one.
It's
you
funny.
can put my name at.
Thank you. I'm going to give you some credit on that one. You guys heard it first. But it's funny you said that. There was a incident that happened a week or so ago where Buckley met a deer.
Mm-hmm.
And so there was a deer that came to our backyard, and I was terrified. I'm like, oh, he's barking at the deer, and the deer's well, the deer doesn't bark, but the deer is like
prepping to see if he need to
doing
fight.
something.
Yeah.
And the deer hung out in our backyard for a good 3.5 hours.
Really, just playing with bucks.
And before it was said and done, they were just playing.
All right. So, and then watching them grow. How old is he?
How old is? But he's 4 right now. He just had a birthday, April 19th. Not that I treat him like a kid, but I do.
Yeah,
he's my kid.
That's what they become. So we do have some responses. Okay, so I'm going to start with hi Danny, and I'm going to start with Lawrence. He says, "Please review my book on your show, Brace for Impact." Okay, yeah,
love it.
Right, Lawrence. Okay, and then Simone says, has being the youngest influenced how you would parent? I don't think so. I don't think so. Now
well, you know what not to do. Look, I'm the youngest as well, a youngest of 8, and I watched my siblings get into a lot of trouble.
Did you take a lot of notes?
And I took a lot of notes, so I knew what not to do. I can attest that I have never gotten in any trouble in my entire blah 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 years because of that. So,
but look, so I tell people I was taking notes like a mug,
Mm-hmm.
and I did. I used to suck my finger, right? And I would just be sitting, watching, looking, and I was the baby. So it was just me and my sister. My sister is 7 years older than me. I'm the extrovert. My sister is the introvert.
Okay.
So she really wasn't getting in too much, although it was a couple of funny stories between her and my mom. But so I would sit and watch my older cousin.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I, like you say, you take notes. So now back to Simone's question about how I would parent. I get tickled. I always say, well, maybe that has something to do with being the baby and, getting my way. Not that I got my way a lot, but, some people like try to say I'm spoiled, but I do. I disagree.
They say that.
They can say it as much
as
as they want, whatever. But you know how you see the women and they talk about how, they've let themselves go because everything goes to the children. Everything goes to the child.
No.
So I laugh sometimes because I was like,
no,
that was not me. And especially in the beginning because my daughter was my mother's only grandchild.
Okay.
So
she was spoiled.
She was, yes, she is.
Yeah.
And so,
She is.
I would buy something, but now all her necessities, diapers, milk, all that kind of stuff. But the cute little toys, and my mama would go somewhere and see something, so she was buying. I was like, I can buy me some. So I think.
So mama had a budget.
I had a budget.
Stacy had hers.
Look, go buy for Ontario, 1 for you, 2
for me.
So sometimes I think that comes from being the only.
Yeah.
Because I was a lot for the impactful years. I was the only child.
Yeah.
Because like you say, everybody's older than you.
Yeah,
You're really by
definitely.
yourself.
That's what I've shared that with several of my friends that, I know how to be a family of 8. I know how to be a family of 4 and a family of 1.
Yes.
So I do spend a lot of time, because maybe being the youngest and spending time alone as a child, I have no problem in my own company. I enjoy it, and that probably contributes to me writing, because writing can be a lonely journey.
Yes.
Because you're by yourself, you're in your thoughts, you're getting lost in your imagination and creativity. So
when I was working on my books, I would go to Starbucks.
Oh, how'd you like that?
Put my music in,
Okay.
and just sit there and write. And then you remember when Stonecrest, there was one in Stonecrest, but then there was at Barnes and Nobles.
Right.
You remember the Barnes and
Yeah,
Nobles?
the Barnes and Noble that was right. Was it
yes, where
across the street, right?
21. No, Barnes and Noble's not there, not at Stonecrest anymore. But anyway, I would sit there and write. So it is like you said, but you're okay being by yourself.
Yes.
And so now Tiffany, hey Tiffany, So you wanted to know where can she purchase the series. She's a multilingual teacher, and I would love to read Buckley to my students and my own sons. That's great.
Oh, beautiful. Yes. All the Buckley books are on Amazon. So if you search by my name, will see the full series. It's Susan H. Hines. And or just search for Buckley as a busy boy, and then you'll see the other books that come along with it. But yeah, it's all there ready for you. So
Okay.
yeah, Buckley fishing.
Let's see. So those are all the. Thank you all for joining us and asking questions. Anyone else have any questions? Yep. So I have enjoyed having you. I am so glad. Although we still have time, I
Yes.
just wanted to just go ahead and say I have enjoyed it. Not sitting here by myself. And I got to get you to sign my book.
Oh, my pleasure.
Or you can sign. I don't know how you want to sign it as Buckley but you can sign it.
Okay, okay, I will
So you
definitely
sign my book, and
sign
I'm
it.
going to get the other ones so
Okay.
that I can, like I say, put it in my hope chest and just read through it and actually, truthfully, use it with my students
Yes.
because really they are on somewhat of this level. So yeah, I can do that as well.
It's definitely been a pleasure to be here, and I'm glad to be your first guest on your show. I'm very impressed with your program and the learning opportunities that you're providing to the community. I mean, also excited of being at the community event that's
For
coming up.
Snellville Community Meet.
Yes, Snellville Community Meet on June 29th.
29th. Do you have any other places you're going to be?
At this time, we are in the process of booking. So if anyone is interested in booking with me, I am author Susan H. Hines on all of the social media platforms. You can find me there or at my business website, which is tjppublications with an s.com. So tjppublications with an s.com. You can find me there as well. But we are starting to build up our summer read programs, and we're getting out to the libraries as well. And in the fall, we'll be back at the schools.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. I know the Baha'i Unity Center does a lot with children.
Okay.
And they have a summer program that they're doing every day. So I can try to put you in touch with some people. I don't know. I mean, because with Baha'i, they focus a lot on community.
Yes.
And teaching children to serve in the community. And it is, it's religious. But that's a heavy part of the religion.
Okay.
That is about what you do in your community, working together as one. Because with Baha'i, you can be anything. You can be Jewish, you can be Christian, you can be Baptist, Methodist, whatever, and still be considered a Baha'i.
Okay.
So it's because that's the whole thing, that we all are one, so we should all be able to come together and serve our community.
Definitely.
So that's the thing I like about
Definitely,
it.
Yeah.
But I'll find out more, and I'll talk to them, and maybe you could come. I know every Sunday they have activities that's centered around the children, but I'll find out more. So I
Yeah,
can
definitely.
definitively
Let me
tell
know.
you.
I'm always open to
'Cause
come out. And
It's
speak.
right there
Yeah.
on Wesley Chapel and Harrison, right there on the corner.
Very close.
Yes, very close.
By. Close by.
And Berean people do not be saying nothing to me about talking about Baha'i. Okay? That's where I do my GED classes.
I
from.
see.
And that's how I became knowledgeable of them and am affiliated
Yeah.
with them through that. So.
But as you said, it's all about giving back to the community and building future generations, because at some point we will not be here, and we want to know that we have left some level of a legacy that makes this place a better place, right? So sitting under a tree or planting a seed of a tree, I forget the saying, that we will never sit under.
So, and then on top of that, we have to start with the children.
You have to.
We're tired. You can't teach old dogs new tricks.
Only so much.
It's only so much we gonna change at this point.
Right.
So we have to forget about us.
Yes.
For a minute, in that regard,
Yeah.
and really start drilling down to our kids.
It's their time. It's time to pass that torch on, as you're saying.
And even if you didn't do it, still make your child do it. Because again, going back to what I said earlier, that was the difference in my mother, my aunts and uncles, and the parenting, some of the parenting now, rather than saying, okay, I didn't get it. And yeah, mama might work at the restaurant or doing factory work. But you don't have to do that. That's what our parents did for us.
Yes.
You don't have to do that. Do not do what I did.
Yeah.
Get your education so that you can be better. And it does not happen. Largely, it does not. And it's so sad.
Yeah, I agree with you. I can recall my parents drilling that into us to say, the next generation should always be better than the first.
Be better than
so
the
we're
first.
constantly improving, and education was very big thing in our family, and I believe that for future generations, whether it's a formal education or some sort of trade or something, but you have to be able to sustain and provide.
Oh, we have a question. Okay, we got a question from YouTube. So someone is asking, how do you prep before writing a book?
Oh, that's a great question.
It is.
Yeah. So one of the good things to do when you're preparing for a book, and I share this with the children as well, so the philosophy works for all levels, is that you use something that you're passionate about. Find a problem that you're trying to solve. So, for example, in my case, I wanted my grandson to read more, and I saw his passion and connection with our pet, our family pet. And so I tied those two items together and said, well, you know what? We're gonna put a story, a fun story, and then you just get to writing. Your first draft is never going to be perfect, but you continue to tweak it as you go. And before you know it, when you put pencil or pen to paper, you are writing and you begin to get into a flow or some sort of cadence. And in doing that, before you know it, you have a book of something. So yeah, it's about finding that quiet time, but also your passion and solving a problem. If you start with those two questions, then you can get going easily.
Yeah, and then also, I've heard people say, how it's going to end. Know the ending sometimes before, from a fiction standpoint.
Yes.
And more on an adult level. Know who your characters are. Start thinking about, again, like Susan said, what problem, not necessarily maybe if you're doing adult fiction, it may not be a problem that you're trying to solve, but what is your message? What's the ultimate message that you want to put in this story? So for me, my message was, like I said, I love love stories. I love happy endings.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew that I wanted to have happy endings. I wanted people to walk away, whatever my story contained, I wanted them to walk away with a smile. So then I said, okay. And I would just think, like, I would be somewhere and see somebody, like a couple, laughing or talking, right, and I would make up a story about them. Just doing stuff like that. Yeah. Like, oh, they look like they just dated. Oh, he looked like he probably like this. And I just would build a story.
Yeah.
Or then sometimes, like, it was a point in my marriage where it wasn't all happy, and I'd fantasize about what I would really love to be. And they became stories. I mean, truthfully, that is how most of them started. It was just at that little time that, it wasn't. And I was like, oh, I just want somebody to hold me. And there was a story.
Yeah.
So that's basically how it's going to go. What is your message? What do you want to happen? Are you more mystery? Are you... So that's sitting down and writing it out, taking notes, who your character is. Put backstories behind your characters.
Backstories, yes.
Your characters need backstories.
Yes.
Because that's how you're going to feel them and how they'll be able to express themselves in each scene or each line of what you're writing. But my best advice I got in college, and I think this is when I became a better writer.
Okay.
Just writing in general, because English was not my thing.
Okay.
And it was in college that I understood writing is more relevant when it comes to teachers. As long as your grammar and structure and stuff is correct, your message and what you're saying is more relevant to that writer. So you might get one teacher, my experience, that was like, oh, you're such a good writer, and you wrote that essay, and da-da-da-da-da, and I'm feeling good about myself. And then you get somebody that's just like, you could have said, you should have said. So that's when I was like, okay, it's relevant, don't stress. But anyway, one of the best advice I got was when you get ready to write, just write.
Just
Do
write.
not edit as you go. Just write it, get it all out, then go back.
Right.
And say, okay, and then you can build upon it. So I hope that little bit helped. But character development, know what you want the story to do or what you want your message to be. Who are your characters? What are their backstories? And then intertwine everything together.
It together, exactly. Exactly.
And one of the best things I understood, because again, in our generation, you know, the only people that we heard or knew of that were writers were people who had gone to school.
Yes, it was only for certain
literature.
people, right?
That wrote.
But we are finding that is so not true right now. And when I come across young authors, and I believe there will be a young author at the event on the
Bailey,
29th.
Dream Reacher.
Yeah, and I spoke with her the other day, and she is quite impressive. And knowing that you can write at any age, everyone has a story, and it's just a matter, as Stacy said, putting it on paper. And before you know it, you have told something. And stories are meant to be told. They're meant to be shared because it's going to help somebody else that's going through something. So you can't keep it to yourself or be too shy to share with the world with anticipation that someone's going to critique or question why you're doing what you're doing. Because I faced that in the beginning. It's like, who do you think you are? But you know what? I ignored those naysayers. I kept going, and 5 books, published books that are on Amazon later, here we are. So yeah, I'd say keep going and do what your heart tells you to do.
Yes. And what I'm going to also do, go to Amazon and get her books, but also as I'm building out my webpage, I'm going to have each podcast or snippets from each podcast and then a link for them to
Appreciate
buy the book.
that.
So it'll be there as well.
Thank you.
Building it out. One woman show, but it feels so good.
We're all one woman show.
But Susan, it feels so good.
It does feel good to have your own and to be able to make your own decisions. And it's not easy.
No. Oh, my God,
And it has its challenges and it has its ebbs and flows, but it's nothing like knowing that all that you have learned over a course of time, whether it be through professional learning or you know, self-taught or going to school or what have you, that you are now able to put this together and form your own business and bring others on and showcase other authors and so forth. So kudos to Miss Stacy.
It's been cooking. I'm going back to what I started with years ago, because I had a sip and sign event where I brought authors in and they met, they read from their book. So I'm going to do another one of those. Oh, girl, I'm about to have fun. I am. I'm really about to have fun. So before we get out of here, I want to thank you again. And I got a little gift for you.
Oh,
gifts. So, you know, it's a shameless plug, but it's still a gift for you.
She got me a gift.
So
May I?
Yes, you can.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
No, I am sure.
So that's a journal.
Look at this.
Do it sometimes. Later, what? Because later never. Do it now. Sometimes later never becomes never.
Never. This is gorgeous. Thank you so much, Stacy. I appreciate it. And it's perfect for a writer too.
Yes, it is. Yes. You can put your ideas down. I got too many journals. I'm like, okay, I love look like a crazy woman.
Do you have something else in here?
There's something
She
else
has more stuff in here.
So that's one of my candles that I make. And this will be on my website at some point too.
And it says, "What I think changes my life. Think positive."
Yes.
That's gorgeous.
And then I have several different messages.
And smells delicious.
And that's a scent from the Love Spell, Victoria's Secret's Love Spell.
Oh.
I was able to get the oils. I was like,
how
okay.
about that?
Yeah.
All right.
So, and then one other little trinket in there is a bookmark. Yeah, it's a little bookmark. But those really work great because they hook in the book and you can use them on larger books or smaller books. So anyway,
I love this. Thank you.
So just wanted to say thank you. It means a lot.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
And thank everybody for tuning in. We out. Are we still on? Oh, okay. Sorry. Thank everybody for tuning in. Y'all know I'm silly. Thank y'all for tuning in. See you next week. Next week, we have another guest coming next week. And I want to mix them up. Post it on my Facebook.
Thank you, Stacy.
Weekend is coming up. Let's open up the windows and let me lend you this melody. melody to ride. I know you were stuck inside.